Okay guys, in this video we're going to talk about the Night King's message and what it's supposed to mean, as well as about Dany the Night Queen theory being heavily hinted to come true by the first episode of the final season. At the end of Season 8 premiere, we learned that the last heart has fallen and the Night King has left a message. Tormund Giantsbane, Beric Dondarrion, Edison Tollett, and other survivors of the wall's destruction find the corpse of little Lord Umber strung up and surrounded by several human limbs, arranged in a familiar spiral pattern, and are then forced to set it all aflame when the boy comes back from the dead as a white. However, this time, perhaps because now it's on fire, it highly resembles the Targaryen sigil, and fans have gone crazy about it on social media. Everyone sees similarities here, and many claim that this confirms the Night King is a Targaryen theory. This theory got even more popularity after the premiere was over, with the showrunners saying in their review that only Targaryens have ever ridden a dragon in the story. Since the Night King rides a dragon and his symbol resembles Targaryen's sigil a lot, fans are certain that the Night King is a Targaryen, or at the very least his message says he's after a Targaryen. The Night King wants a queen, and Dany of House Targaryen is the chosen one. Well, first off, the Night King is definitely not of House Targaryen. A Targaryen cannot possibly be the Night King, because they arrived in Westeros thousands of years after the Night King was created. The Night King controls Viserion through magic, rather than through the blood of the dragon, which he doesn't have. The Night King, the oldest of the White Walkers, was a first man, whom the children of the forest caught and turned into a White Walker to destroy the first man. Beric said it's a message from the Night King, and since it looks like a Targaryen sigil, could it be the Night King saying he wants Dany Targaryen for his queen? Is that why the White Walkers are even coming south? One of my most popular theories is that exact theory, and it's Dany becoming the Night's Queen. The Night's Queen is an unseen woman in Game of Thrones, a legendary figure known in the Seven Kingdoms and among the Free Folk. According to a legend, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch found in a haunted forest a cold woman with bright blue eyes. He took her to the other side of the wall and declared himself as the Night's King. Their love and reign lasted for 13 years, whereupon the Free Folk rallied under the banner of a king beyond the wall and marched against the Night King's seat against the Night Fort, which resulted with Night's King defeat, with an aid of House Stark. Earlier in Game of Thrones, we've learned that the leader of the White Walkers, Night King, is able to create other White Walkers, but it seems that he can only create one if that human being is a pure-blooded incest-born. As some kind of proof, we have a few scenes in which Craster is sacrificing his incest-born babies, including a scene from the 4th season in which Raz places Craster's final son on the ground, in the haunted forest, whereupon the White Walkers approached and took the baby, carried it towards a shattered mountain in the lands of Always Winter. Once the White Walker approached an icy altar ringed by large icy spikes, he placed the baby upon the altar, whereupon the leader of the Night King approached, gently gathered the baby in his arms, and placed his index finger upon the baby's cheek, which caused the baby's eyes to turn icy blue and its skin to grow pale. This scene from the 4th episode of Season 4, in my opinion, confirms my statement that only incest-born, pure-blooded human beings can become a White Walker, while every other human beings can only become a white, a reanimated corpse, raised from death by the White Walkers to act as their minions. This means that the Night's King could turn Dany into one of them, since Dany is a pure-blooded, incest-born daughter of King Aerys and Queen Rhaella Targaryen. The only way for the living side to end the Long Night is to either defeat them, which would be insanely hard, or to make a pact. This pact of ice and fire would include Dany. Have you ever wondered why is the Night King even coming south? Why was he preparing an army all those years, with which he started marching south at the moment of Dany's arrival at Westeros? I was wondering about that ever since the 6th season ended, and I came to a conclusion that Dany's arrival at Westeros is the reason of the Night King's preparations, the reason of his march south, and is the reason of every single death that the Seven Kingdoms is going to confront. Dany could have won the throne as soon as she arrived at Westeros if she wanted to. As Jon stated, Dany did not take the throne yet only because many innocent people would have died if she decided to storm King's Landing. She did not attack King's Landing because she did not want to cause death upon millions of innocent people, and she won't ever sit on the Iron Throne because she will decide to give up her life so all those people, including her child, could live. Those battles between the living side and the White Walkers accompanied with their White Horde will take a lot of casualties for both sides, but every casualty of the undead army will be replaced by a casualty of the living side, since all brave soldiers that are going to sacrifice their life on the battlefield in order to stop the Night King and his army will be erased from death, and will increase the numbers of the undead army. Upon a huge amount of casualties, and upon realizing that their chance to survive the Long Night is small, the living side will decide to stop fighting and will try to establish peace, will try to arrange a pact with the leader of the White Walkers. Now we are coming to a pact that I mentioned earlier, a pact between the living side and the Night King, an agreement which Dany will accept to end the Long Night, a pact in which she will become the Night's Queen. This is an agreement which will save Westeros, sacrifice which Dany as a true queen will accept to save her people's lives. Dany's illusions are foreshadowing that Dany could easily win the Iron Throne and sit on it, but it also foreshadows that she will realize that she will not be able to sit on the same, since she will have to give up on it for the greater good. She will accept a pact with the Night King in order to end the Long Night. Dany will become the Night's Queen, whereupon she and the Night King will go beyond the wall and rule over it, as a form of peace agreement between the living and the dead. Beside Dany's visions, as I've already said earlier in this video, Dany's arrival of Westeros and the Night King's preparations and his march to the south fits perfectly in timeline. I don't think it's coincidence that all those years the Night King was preparing and gathering a huge army with which he started marching south at the same time of Dany's arrival at Westeros. Also, the fact that the show included multiple scenes that are proving that the Night King can create other White Walkers only that human being is a pure-blooded incest-born has to be foreshadowing something huge. To that add the fact that Dany is incest-born daughter of King Aerys and Queen Rhaella Targaryen, and this theory has a huge chance of coming true. Not only that this theory would be one of the greatest surprises that showrunners could pull off, but it would also fit perfectly with the bittersweet ending that George R. R. Martin announced. Dany will in this theory die in the hands of the Night King as Dany, and will shortly after open her eyes as the Night's Queen. In the Season 8 premiere, Sam, upon revealing to Jon his true parentage, asked him if Dany would give up the crown to save her people, just as Jon did, and it's in my opinion a huge hint for what's to come. Dany would definitely do everything for her people, and what this conversation foreshadows is that Dany will in fact do anything for her people, even if it means giving her life for them. I still believe that this theory of mine that includes Dany becoming the Night's Queen will come true, and I believe this conversation between Sam and Jon is foreshadowing a huge sacrifice Dany will take for her people. Dany will go beyond the wall with the Night King where they will live for 1,000 years. However, I do not think this symbol has anything to do with it. It's not a Targaryen sigil, it's an ancient symbol of the Children of the Forest used in their rituals, and the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers. For the Night King, the symbol represents his birthplace. Ned Umber in the center of the spiral, just like the human was when he became the Night King. It's a message, and it's basically him saying he remembers what they did to him. As of the symbol referencing the Targaryen sigil, it's more likely that the Targaryen sigil is referencing it, and not the other way around. After all, the symbol does appear in Dragonstone, where the Targaryens have been since the Doom of Valyria. The symbol comes from the Children of the Forest. Chronologically, the first appearance of the spiral comes when the Three-Eyed Raven shows Bran the creation of the White Walkers in the Season 6 episode The Door. Just before the Children of the Forest plunge a dragonless dagger into a man's chest, the camera pans up, and we see that he's tied to a tree at the center of now familiar spiral pattern. From then on, we see the symbol pop up when large groups of White Walkers show up, especially when they kill things. The earliest example of the mysterious visual popping up in the show's actual run happens in the very first episode, when White Walkers kill a group of wildlings and arrange their mutilated bodies in a pattern. The symbol also pops up in Season 3 Episode 3, when Jon revisits the Fist of the First Man, and sees that the Night's Watchmen who were killed have disappeared, and all that's left are pieces of their horses in a spiral. Upon seeing it, Mance Rayder says always the artists, meaning they always leave these symbols after they are done with killing and resurrecting. The symbols also appear deep in the dragonless caves of Dragonstone in Season 7 Episode 4 The Spoils of War. According to Jon, the Children of the Forest carved these markings in memory of the battle they fought alongside the first man to defeat the White Walkers. In one post-episode interview, co-showrunner David Benioff explained that these patterns were originally created by the Children of the Forest and had a mystical significance to them. Since then, they have been co-opted by the White Walkers. It's the Night King's message, and this symbol likely depicts his birthplace, and what the Night King wants to say with it is that he remembers. In conclusion, the Night King is not a Targaryen, and what his message says is that he remembers and is coming after all of them. I do however believe that there are many hints and foreshadows hidden in the Season 8 premiere, that Dany will become the Night's Queen, and she will live for 1,000 years beyond the wall, just not with whom she originally wanted, but with the Night King. Everything seems to be building up to that, and even Sam's statement to Jon, "You gave up the crown to save your people, would Dany do the same?" might be a huge hint for what's to come. Please let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. Tomorrow I will probably make a video in which I'll explain new Game of Thrones intro and bring you a few things that most of you missed in the Season 8 premiere, including the White Walker GPS tracker, Qyburn's revealed intention to devastate King's Landing, and a few other things. So stay tuned for that, and either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow I'll be bringing you a video for episode 2 as well. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.